So I needed to buy a professional grade cinema camera that I could take on any type of project. So I recently purchased the Canon C200. So today we have 10 reasons why the C200 was the best camera for me to buy. Listen to what I have to say. If you're in a similar situation that I'm in, maybe this camera is best for you. I'm not going to be spending time talking about what is wrong with this camera. It is absolutely not perfect, or a few flaws to it, but today we're talking about all positives. Maybe next time we'll do negatives. I'm feeling positive today though, So starting out at number 1, this camera is mega affordable for what it is. I bought everything together for $7,500, and all things considering what is packed into this camera, that is an excellent price. If I were to buy a red camera, I would have ended up spending like $40,000, and Alexa $40,000 to $50,000. So spending $7,500 on a camera, obviously it's not an Alexa or a red, but at the same time, what it's capable of, the price is absolutely amazing for what it is. Number 2, this camera is so reliable. In any weather, any condition, this camera will get the job done. You don't have to worry about it shutting down out of completely nowhere. It is super reliable. So I've used red a couple times now, and while I was shooting on red, all of a sudden out of nowhere, you could be mid-filming and the camera will just shut off. So having something like the C200 out on any project, no matter what the weather condition is, what you're doing with it, you know it's gonna hold up. Number 3 is autofocus. On big sets, you absolutely never need autofocus. Usually you have someone pulling focus, or you're racking it yourself manually, but it definitely helps to have autofocus when you're working alone, doing documentary, run and gun type projects. So having that autofocus has been absolutely life-saving in certain instances. Number 4, it is incredibly versatile. And what I mean by versatile is I can shoot a big, high production music video on this camera using 4K 12-bit, or if I wanna shoot an event, shoot a wedding, just do a super long interview that I don't need the highest quality for, I have the option to shoot at 1080p in 8-bit in C-Log 3, which is an awesome profile by Canon. So I found having the 4K RAW for the bigger projects is absolutely everything I need, but at the same time, having the 8-bit 1080p for the smaller projects is still so key, because you're still getting C-Log 3 and it's a super clean 1080 because it's sampled from a 4K sensor. Number 5, which was a huge selling point for me, it's something that every cinema camera in the world should have, are built-in NDs. So all you have to do is press these little buttons to add ND or subtract ND, and when you're running gun, when you're on the fly, that is such a huge tool for you to have, so you're not fiddling with ND filters threaded to the front of your camera, or crazy matte boxes that you have to slide glass in and out of. So having the ND filters built in is something that is very clutch. 6 is Canon's color science. If you ask anybody, they will tell you that the skin tones that come out of a Canon sensor are typically super accurate to what skin tones actually are, without having to do a ton of heavy grading in post. Number 7, another reason why I wanted to stick with Canon and go with the C200 was because I already own so many EF lenses, and it just like helps a ton with money. Number 8 is another huge factor of why I bought the C200. It is small and compact, and because of that, it can fit on any gimbal properly. I can stick it on my Ronin, I can even stick it on my Glide Cam, and if I need a shot where I need it to be super stable and put it on a gimbal or some kind of stabilization equipment, you can throw the C200 right on it. So I actually ended up buying the C200B because it doesn't have the EVS attached to it. The electric viewfinder will get in the way if you're trying to attach it to like a Ronin M or a Ronin MX. So I went with the Canon C200B, so I didn't have that electric viewfinder popping out the back, getting in the way of the gimbal. Number 9, the reason I went to go with the Canon C200, because I also own a Canon 1DX Mark II, which I am filming on right now, and this is now essentially my B camera. So now whenever I'm shooting with the 2 cameras I own, it's super easy to match the grades in post-production because they have the same color science essentially built into them, because they're both Canons. So having that is super clutch, rather than me having like a Canon and then a red and trying to match the two. The 10th and final reason why I got the Canon C200 is because I've rented it a bunch of times for big projects and it never let me down. I loved using it. It just like feels great in my hands. It feels like a camera that was just meant for me. And that is just a completely important rule for you to follow. If you're interested in buying a new camera, rent them out, test different ones and see which cameras you like best before you spend a ton of money on them. You have to make sure it's absolutely the right camera for you and for what you're doing in your career and what you're filming. And the C200 was definitely the answer for me. So I'm happy I have this bad boy. I can't wait to continue to make videos with it because it's my baby. So again, this camera is not perfect. It has its flaws. I'll save the negative comments for another time. Overall, it's an incredible camera. It does everything I need it to do. And let me know if this was helpful for you. And if you're interested in the C200, go ahead and write some comments below. And thank you so much for letting me be a part of your filmmaking career. And until next time, bye.